Welcome everyone. Today we are going to have a look at the pointless top 10 bald NPCs in World of Warcraft. Yes, we are going to check out bald NPCs in WoW. That's crazy, right?
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Pointless Top 10, a show where we make top 10 lists out of pointless things. Why are we flying by this pointless statue in Booty Bay? Because inside pointless things are treasure. Let's begin. 10. Number 10 is Brother Daniel, and Brother Daniel is a human general goods vendor located in Northshire Valley in Elwyn Forest. He can be found next to his wagon holding a big loaf of bread, and funnily enough, when the Northshire Valley was attacked by the forces of Count Clessington, which I believe was for the Human Heritage Armor Quest.
You know what's actually unique about this guy? If you look at him, he has like a half rope, right? Like the upper part of his body is part of a rope you can get as a low level player, right? And then he wears pants. And I think I have never seen this transmog, or it never dropped from me, where you have like a half rope or something, right? Because the upper part is clearly from the rope and then it's like interrupted. Yo, that's actually a unique outfit actually.
Which I believe was for the Human Heritage Armor Quest. Daniel remained at his usual spot and was in a fighting position with a hunk of bread in hand. So this dude was ready to throw down with his hunk of bread. And funnily enough, again, his tough hunk of bread is available for sale. He sells 5 of them. He also has spring water, rough arrows, light shots, crude throwing axes, and light throwing knives. You know, Brother Daniel, he's not completely bald, right? He's got the like side back of the head cut going on. But I think Brother Daniel's a pretty well-known bald NPC. I mean, he's in the human starting area, so most people that make humans have seen him before. They've probably bought some water or hunks of bread from him. Pretty notable bald NPC, walked by him. And that's why he's number 10. 9. Number 9 is Traveling Warrior, and Traveling Warrior is an orc in Orgrimmar.
That's an Easter egg, actually.
There's a lot of orcs in Orgrimmar, but this guy is specifically a reference to Kratos from God of War. And I legit didn't even know he was in the game until I was like, wow.
Yup, this is him. That's a reference to that game, like the whole franchise. That's actually a really fun game, by the way.
Walking around, I was like, what? That's an orc I've never seen. And he's next to Traveling Sun. And they have a bunch of dialogue where they talk about war, they talk about the burning of Teldrassil, and then his son's just like, Dad, why do the trees burn? And then he's like, boy, that's war or something. That's pretty much what it is. And then he's
just a good dad.
And he's like, war is war. And then, you know, you go look at the dialogue if you want. I really just summed it up for you. You really don't have to.
That's a cool transmog.
I mean, this is a pretty notable NPC
nice orc warrior
in Orgrimmar. I never even realized he was there, so maybe, to me he wasn't that notable, but when I found him, I was like, what? Apparently he did get added in Battle for Azeroth, and he's just chilling in the Valley of Wisdom, talking to Traveling Sun. There are a lot of bald orcs in the game, but I thought this was a good one because, you know, it's kind of pointless, so it fits the theme of this series, and it might not be as well known to a lot of people as some of the other orcs, so I was like, hey, you know what? I think he can make the list. Plus, he's pretty bald, and he's got a great beard, so just for the beard alone, he should make this list, and that's why Traveling Warrior / Kratos Orc is number 9. 8. Number 8 is Foreman Oslo, and Foreman Oslo is a human quest giver located near the bridge in Lakeshire in the Red Ridge Mountains, and he has terrible luck. Like, this dude has everything going bad for him. He once had his tools being delivered from Goldshire on a wagon, but the orcs destroyed the Everstill Bridge, and then the tools were put on a boat to get across the lake to Lakeshire, but then a catapult hit the boat, and then he wanted to repair the bridge, but his shipment of materials was stolen by gnolls. Like, everything that can go wrong goes wrong for this guy. But in Cataclysm, Oslo becomes trapped under a huge boulder, which had fallen just north of the bridge. 6 bridge workers attempt to remove the boulder, but are not successful. And there's a big quest line where you have to take an Etten, and the Etten gets it off, all this stuff. But currently, from what I've seen, it's glitched out. And it just looks like everyone's dancing around his crushed body, even though there's nothing crushing him, but there is. It's so weird. And there's like this other dude who's just sitting there watching it.
Yeah, like, drinking.
Hey, he's crushed, all right. It's really weird, you know.
Yo, that's such a big mug. Look at this. Oh my gosh, like how huge is this? Like, how much is he drinking? And cool hairstyle, by the way.
It's really weird, you know, and I feel bad for Foreman Oslo, right?
They never patched this, right?
Trying to help, he's trying to repair the bridge, he's trying to fix people's stuff, and he just keeps having the worst possible luck. But you know what? Here's some good luck for you. You get to be number 8 on my pointless top 10 list. 7. Number 7 is Frederick Calston, and Frederick Calston is a human quest giver located at the top of the Light's Shield Tower in the Eastern Plaguelands. He introduced various sea life to the Infectus Scar in the hopes of creating a source of fresh food for the Argent Crusade from within the Plaguelands. But he did not anticipate that some of the fish would...
Oh, this is actually so fun. Like, I love the whole quest. If you guys are grinding up on Alt, go to the Plaguelands and do the Argent Dawn caravan quest line. This is so fun. You go from one outpost to another with a wagon, where you have like this Worgen lady, and you have like a dwarf and a blood elf or high elf paladin. And it is just so... I love the whole quest line. Like, I love leveling there if I can, if I find the time. And yeah. And you sometimes get like new people to join the way. I don't want to spoil it too much, but just do the quest. Like, it's a really good one, I think. It's one of the better ones.
Is a human quest giver located at the top of the Light's Shield Tower in the Eastern Plaguelands. He introduced various sea life to the Infectus Scar in the hopes of creating a source of fresh food for the Argent Crusade from within the Plaguelands. But he did not anticipate that some of the fish would turn out to be predators and start eating others. He then asked adventurers to save some of the smaller creatures from the lake before they're wiped out. And it seems likely that he's related to Cedric Calston, who is a Forsaken quest giver who resides on the second floor of the Calston Estate in Tirisful Glades.
Wait,
and Cedric also shows a fascination for sea life and wears similar clothing. So he's actually got a cool little backstory. He's a cool NPC, but let's talk about the main thing here. This guy is bald. Very powerful bald head. He's got the beard goatee stuff going on. So just the combo of all that, right? The super bald head, the goatee, the weird fish scientist lore. That's good enough for me to put him at number 7.
Yeah.
6. Number 6 is Guard Hammond, and Guard Hammond is a human guard located in the Champions Hall in Stormwind City. And due to his baldness and proximity with Lieutenant Carter, Lieutenant Jack Spring, Captain O'Neill, and Sergeant Major Clayt, all references to Stargate SG-1, Guard Hammond is most likely a reference to General Hammond of the same series. So,
I think
he is
so.
a Stargate 1 reference. I never actually watched Stargate 1, so I probably said one of those names.
Oh, Stargate, this is like my freaking childhood. When I was like a teenager, I would constantly watch Stargate with my friends. We would talk about it and stuff. And it's like still airing here on like TV. You can still watch it in Germany at least. And even like the Atlantis one is actually not so bad, I think. Stargate Atlantis. But yo, yeah, this is a reference to Hammond most likely. I mean, bald, the name and stuff, right? And this is what Blizzard likes to do. We had this also with God of War earlier, right? So it's just normal that sometimes you will see, yeah, people from like other movies and stuff, right?
Hammond of the same series. So he is a Stargate 1 reference. I never actually watched Stargate 1, so I probably said one of those names wrong, and some Stargate nerd's gonna be like, actually it's Sergeant Major Claddy instead of Clayt. I don't know. I don't care. I did, however, see the original Stargate movie from 1994 just the other week, and that was a fun experience. All I know is this guy is a reference, and he's bald. And unlike all the other NPCs we've seen so far, he is super bald, right? He's got no goatee facial hair. He doesn't have the like hair in the back. He is just super bald. And so there's really nothing else. And I was like, you know, that's probably good for like a number 6 on the list. And so that's why Guard Hammond is number 6. 5. Number 5 is Priestess Alunza. And Priestess Alunza is a Zandalari troll located at the Shimmering Pinnacle in Atal Dazar. And according to the Dungeon Journal, as a fanatical defender of Atal Dazar's golden sanctum, Priestess Alunza has come to cleanse the temple of all corruption at any cost. The weird part was like, this is all I could find on her. I was like, there's got to be some crazy lore behind Priestess Alunza, right? So I was looking into it, but the big thing was everyone was like, why are we even killing her, right? Like, why do we have to kill Priestess Alunza? I thought she was here to cleanse the temple. But the best answer I saw to that was, at this point in the story, none of us are really supposed to be in Atal Dazar to begin with. As far as she's concerned, with all the shit going on, we might as well be the source of the corruption or the insurgents sent to cause trouble. So I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. I don't know if that's what Blizzard thought of,
but that is actually stupid. So she's actually good. She just wants to cleanse the place. But because she doesn't know who we are or our like intentions, she sees us as a threat. And because she sees us as a threat and would fight us with her people, Like, she's also the enemy because she goes up against us. Okay, that is actually so strange. And then you actually feel bad if you do kill her, because she was actually not a bad character. She just thought you were bad and this made her a bad character or something. That is so dumb.
But that sounds good enough for me. But the main point here is Priestess Alunza is actually really cool. Probably one of the coolest bald NPCs in the game. Like, she has a bunch of cool abilities like Spirit
and she
Gold,
looks unique,
Corrupted
right?
Gold, Molten Gold, Transfusion, Tainted Blood. Plus, she looks really cool doing her big ritual thing up at the altar with all the orbs and stuff flying around. So I was like, yo,
is she
Priestess
swallowing
Alunza,
some light
you gotta
magic
be on the
or
list.
what?
And that's why she's number 5. 4. Number 4 is Thief Catcher Far Mountain, and Thief Catcher Far Mountain is one of 3 thief catchers that are 3 named elite alliance guards in Ironforge that patrol the city. They can detect stealth enemies, and upon discovering one, will attack it, alerting the city to its presence. Their patrol is on a set route that takes them throughout the city of Ironforge. If a player zooms in on one of these NPCs as they pass, a pair of cat's eye ultra goggles is clearly visibly being worn on their heads, most likely to aid in their stealth detection capabilities.
Yeah, it's gnomish technology.
This dude looks awesome. I legit thought this got added in Cataclysm, but I guess this has been a thing since like patch 1.3 in 2005. He also may be related to Demnul Far Mountain in Ironforge, Jonavera Far Mountain in Ultrag Valley, and Savalbrad Far Mountain in Ultrag Valley. What names, right? Although we don't actually know his true name. Maybe his name is Thief Catcher, which is like, they're like, dude, you really need to become a thief catcher if your name's Thief Catcher. And he's like, yeah, all right. But this dude, like, this is a badass dwarf, man. He just walks around. He's just like, yeah, you know what I am. I'm a thief catcher. I'm looking for thieves. He's just strutting his stuff, and he's bald. So, I mean, to be fair, it's actually hard to find some bald dwarves. I was looking all around, and then I just stumbled across this guy in Ironforge, and I was like, dude, this...
Wait, there are a lot of dwarves with a big hairline and stuff, right? Because they have, like, quite many hairstyles with big hairline and stuff, right? So you get like a lot of half-bald dwarfs usually.
Guy's an awesome bald dwarf. He kind of reminds me of like one of the Men in Black, you know? Except he's in red and he's carrying axes.
And he's men in red.
He's pretty cool. And that's why Thief Catcher Far Mountain is number 4. 3. Number 3 is Samir. And Samir is somebody who has appeared in pretty much half the expansions of World of Warcraft.
Wait.
He is an adventurer who wanders
quest,
Azeroth
right?
with his group, and as such, he appears in several zones. Samir used to be a level 70 blacksmithing vendor located in the Hatchet Hills in the Blood Elven territory of the Ghostlands in the camp right outside Zulaman. He also has this orc that's standing uncomfortably close to him carrying a giant mallet, and I don't know why.
Does he not feel
he was
threatened?
also in Wrath of the Lich King, and he was actually in the same pack that was with Bud Nedrek, who was in another pointless top 10.
But Nedrek, this is where, because when I saw him, I just remembered there was like a troll quest I did, and this was in Grizzly Hills, right? So, yeah, that's why. Because I saw him also there. And this guy with the mask here, he gives you the quest where you have to actually, get like, you have to put trolls KO or something. You have to knock them out for something. It was a strange quest, but it was quite fun. Yeah, I remember this now.
And weirdest NPCs, I'll put that up in the cards if you want to go check that out.
Yeah, he's really
in Cataclysm, his boat to Vazir was shipwrecked, and you end up rescuing him, and then he provides blacksmithing services at Smuggler's Scar in Kelpthar Forest. He was in Battle for Azeroth in the Vision of the Twisting Sands.
Oh, he goes to Uldum,
and he was
right?
at the Uldum entrance.
Yeah.
And Samir really is another super bald guy, right? He's bald, he's got no facial hair. But unlike Guard Hammond, where he's just a guy chilling in Stormwind, Samir has been all over the place. And so I was like, hey, you know what? Samir is a bald adventurer. He's got his sword and shield. He's going all over. He's also jacked out of his mind. He's got like a 12-pack. Look at him, dude. He deserves to be number 3. 2. Number 2 is Kael'thas, and Kael'thas might not even be considered an NPC, I guess. He'd just be a boss, but I guess a boss can be an NPC.
Is he bald?
I've already included a dungeon boss on this list, because technically it is a player character that isn't controlled by
Let me guess, he's wearing a wig or what?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. He's number 2, and you might say, Crendor, he's got hair. Well, back in patch 8.0.1, Kael'thas became bald. Here's a picture. You can see it for yourself. Look at that.
What the heck?
Kael'thas is bald. Now, I don't know when they actually fixed it and gave him hair again, but some people might be like, oh, well, he's not bald anymore. Well, you don't know
he's just
that.
wearing
He might
a
be
wig.
wearing a wig. In 8.01, I think Blizzard might have just taken away his hair, and he just got so mad, so upset that he had to go get a wig, and now he's just wearing a wig. You can't tell me that Sindori, Blood Elf Magic, or whatever it is, can't craft some sort of blonde wig, right? Yeah. Somebody else had a theory that the non-HD character models were removed in 8.0, and that probably messed with his model or something. But I think they just got rid of his hair, and then he became bald. And now he's still bald, but he hides it pretty well. That's why Kael'thas is number 2.
So funny.
And number 1 is one that I did not expect to be number 1. It is Boots, the goblin drink vendor at Area 52 in Netherstorm, and he is Boom's master mixologist.
Ah, he makes those funny comments, right?
He sells a variety of alcohols and non-alcoholic drinks, and he says, "What's your pleasure? Pull up a seat and knock one back. I'm Boots, lead mixologist for Boom and bartender extraordinaire. If it's got a kick, old Boots can give it to you." So Boots then tells you he's been making a good living selling drinks to booze hounds, but he wants something more, and he wants to make the most explosive rocket fuel ever. And it turns out you help him do just that, and he explodes. Boots says, "Woot, here we go. Uh-oh." And then he explodes, and then the off-duty engineer says, "Yikes, someone call the fire marshal. Medic, is there a doctor in the house?" And then the doctor's like, "I'm a doctor, what's the problem?" Then he's like, "Somebody's got to get those fires out so I can get in there and save that goblin." And then Bill says, "Someone called?" And then Doc says, "Right, let me in there. Everyone clear." And then they shock Boots back to life, and he's okay. And then he says, "Back to the drawing board on that rocket fuel." And that's that. That's the quest.
Goblins
I forgot this quest even existed. I mainly found this because I was going to look at Kael'thas and see how bald he was, but he wasn't. And then I was like, wait, is that a bald goblin drink vendor? And then I read up on this quest, and I was like, dude, this is unbelievable. And then after a while, I was like, you know what? I'm going to put this at number 1, and that's why Boots is number 1. Hey everybody, thanks for watching.
You know what's like funny about Boots? It's kind of like he experienced this, had this near-death experience like before. It's like nothing, I just explode, someone fix me, and it's like nothing happened. It just happens every week or something to me. I guess it's crazy, right? Yo, there are some really cool NPCs in WoW. Like, there are a lot of quests that are sadly being forgotten, and why are a lot of cool quests being forgotten? Also the one with like the rocket fuel with fuel with Boots, and like this one with like with the troll one, for example, with the redneck guy. The issue is you level these days too quickly. Like, if you're doing a time walking campaign, like you pick one from Chromie, be it BFA, be it Legion, whatever, like you half through the expansion and you're already max level in WoW. Like, that's how fast you level these days. Like, I cannot finish a single time walking campaign on an alt that I grind up. Especially when I'm like doing side quests as well, like a lot of them, and I usually do them. Like, I'm max level. Like, one funny thing is when I did like the Argent Dawn quest line in the Plague Lands, I remember I was level 40 plus already or something. Almost 50. And then this was like, yeah, I think this was doing Shadowlands, and that was, I think 50 was the cap, right? And I was like 40 plus. And I was not even completely done with it. I was like at the end of it. And I get called back to the capital city by freaking Chromie. I was on Alliance at this time, so I get called back to Stormwind. And I was so upset. I was like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, I have like 2-3 more quests and I'm done, and you just freaking pull me out back to Stormwind to go to the freaking Shadowlands. Like, I was quite upset because I kind of enjoyed the quest line there. But yeah, that's why so many NPCs are being forgotten in quest lines. So it's really cool that like wowcrendor brings back those nostalgia, like those experiences, right? With like the Pointless Top 10 series, because it also points towards like very fun quest lines and stuff like we have here. Like, go to Grizzly Hills, find this masked human as a troll, like do his quest line, you're just gonna love. There's a very funny outhouse quest line in Grizzly Hills. You have very cool ones in the Plague Lands and stuff. So yeah, if you're considering leveling up an alt, just go to where those NPCs are, do those time walking campaigns. You're gonna have a nice day. It's very funny. But yeah, if you guys are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. If you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this one a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time.